Apple, the company that is famous for not doing anything nefarious with your data. Apple unveils Maps tool showing activity changes during the pandemic. So Apple is taking anonymized data from people walking and
Anonymized
driving.
quotation marks.
Yeah. And public transit in communities, and showing how much people are moving or not moving.
Yeah, great. I'm in a spicy mood today about this. So I mean,
They also announced a
so,
contact tracing partnership with Google that it plans to roll out in mid-May. So now we have the two largest tech
well,
companies and
because you
phone
can put
software
it natively on the
manufacturers,
OS if they
yeah,
agree. You can have
in
it on
in the
both
world,
OSs.
adding some new tracking features. So,
Yeah, I mean, look,
but
the
hey,
tra-
you can pay with Apple Pay.
the trade-off on the tracking features, it's going to be one of those things that I think is required for any significant sort of reopening. So I guess as far as tracking goes, like if it's in the OS, at least it's easy. At least I don't have to install it. But look, once these things are
Except that you're going to have to
done,
update the OS in order to install it, and like people are famous for taking months or years to update their phone operating
yeah,
system
but
when a new
Apple and
update is
Android
pushed.
can both just ping them nonstop with reminders to do it until they finally break them and get them to do it. And you don't need everybody, right? What you need is a given percentage of people to be
Hmm.
effective for that. Um, Look, it's just one of the, and we've talked about this in prior episodes. Like, what's happened is we went from this like it just far in one extreme, like privacy hearings over privacy, congressional hearings with big tech and privacy, sacrifice privacy, to now everybody's rooting the other direction.
Well, I
Please
think,
track us.
I mean, they're talking about hiring contact tracers, like actual people who figure
Mhm.
out where the sources of these various whatever they're called clusters of COVID uh, diagnosis are like centering,
Mhm.
so that you can figure out who actually needs to be quarantined and who's okay. And I think this would help with that. That, I mean, it's just a helpful feature just to trace that and go backwards. I think the privacy thing from before was election interfering. I mean, that was like the really big thing. It
Mhm.
wasn't related to something that is affecting everyone's health and well-being.
So, I think it's one of those things where like I have no question that it will be highly effective to do the contact tracing using something embedded on your phone. Your phone never leaves, for most people, a 3-foot radius around their body. 24/7 is with you. I think what you create down the road are unintended consequences of this sort of tracking and tracing. Because right now it's like, oh, it's great, it's helpful. Once things like this start, they don't tend to go away, because what happens, you put smart
You're not
people in
going
the
to
room who are working
uninstall
on
it from
this,
the operating system.
and you
Like
find other
once you've got
uses
it on
for it.
there, yeah.
You find really good other uses for it. For example, as an advertiser, you know what I'd pay a premium for? You bet I would pay a premium to advertise to people who had come in contact with a buyer of my product within the last 2 weeks or 10
Hmm.
days, or who they spent Christmas with, or who they went on a vacation with, or who they went to a ball game with, or who they went to a restaurant with. That's great advertising data. And
Yep.
neither one of these companies will be able to resist monetizing it at some point.